Hi boys and girls, let's go ahead and continue with math today, lesson 8.4. Sometimes we have to draw a model to help us solve math problems. Today we're going to draw. You are welcome to use counters if you'd like to. If you were in the classroom, we would be using counters to help you solve this, but because you are home, we're going to go ahead and draw this out. But you are welcome to use, you don't have enough cubes that we gave you, but if you have more or other counters, you would need about 20 counters to help get through today's lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to divide my paper into two parts because we're going to talk about two different people and we're going to come to the conclusion of one number. So let's see what we have here. So if you look on the top, I'm going to tell you about a girl who has some cubes, and she has a number of cubes that is one greater than. Now remember, greater than means bigger than. 1 greater than 15. Now, if you had that number line from yesterday in front of you, it would be really simple to go and look at that number line to help you solve this problem. But today we're going to draw it out to see if we can figure it out. So she has one more than 15. So let's start with 15. That's an important number. So she has one more than 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Would that be like a 10 frame there? It would, but we got to keep going because we got to get up to 15. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, it said that she has one more than 15. So what comes after 15? 16. So she has one more than 15, which we think is going to be 16. Well, it's not that we think, we know it's 16. Then another friend has some cubes and they have one less than 17. So let's draw 17 and then we'll talk about it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, it said she has one less than 17. So that means we're going to have to take one away. She has one less than 17, so we take one away. That means we have 5, 10, 15, 16. Both of those friends have 16 cubes. One had one more than 15, so we had to add one. One had one less than 17, so we had to take one away from 17. So we drew it out and we either added or took away to find our answer, and they both had the same amount of cubes. They both had 16. Okay, so drawing out or drawing a model can sometimes be a little bit tricky. It does help us with problems that might be a little bit harder though for us to use, especially for my friends in kindergarten who, when they're using really big numbers, it makes it a little bit more difficult. If it were smaller numbers, it wouldn't be as hard. Let's go ahead and do that same thing. I want you to draw your paper in half here so that we can solve this problem, one on each, one on the top and one on the bottom. So the first one up here tells us that a girl named Kiara has 18 apples. So could we draw the 18 apples? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I know that takes a lot of time. You guys are doing a great job. So she has 18 apples. Let's go ahead and write that here. We know she has 18 apples. That's the first part of our problem. Now the second part is that she has a number of apples 2 greater than another friend named Cristobal. So Cristobal must have 2 less. And this friend, Kiara, we're gonna put, well, we're gonna put a K here for Cristobal. I'm sorry, Kiara, and a C for Cristobal down here, okay? So she has 18, and now she has 2 greater than this friend. So she has more than Cristobal. So she has 2 more. So if I were to take those 2 away, how many would Cristobal have? 5, 10, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we would write 16 here. I know that is very tricky. Mom and Dad, I know the names alone are confusing. We just have to make sure that we take our time and decide what information is important and how we can draw it out to help us solve our problems. Let's go ahead. Before I do this though, when we compare numbers, when we talk about numbers that are greater than or less than, which of these 2 is greater? Which one has more? Which one is greater? If you said 18, you are correct. And let's go ahead and circle that. That's comparing numbers. On a number line, when we were to think of a number line from 1 to 20, the numbers that are towards the far right, or the end of our number line, are the bigger numbers, where the numbers to the left on the beginning are the smaller numbers. So a number line starts with the smallest to the biggest. 18 would be farther down than 16. It would be greater, and it is actually 2 greater than 16. Okay, if that one was tricky, I'm really sorry. Let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, divide it into 2 parts, and I'm going to tell you the story. And then this will be the last one. We're going to be halfway through the chapter, so the next page is a mid-chapter checkup. So follow along with me, and I know we're using really big numbers, and I'm going to change some names, maybe to help you a little bit more. I'm going to use some names of some teachers instead, okay? So let's talk about Mrs. Ott. Mrs. Ott loves oranges. They're very good for her. It's always good to have fruits in our diet. Gives you lots of vitamins. But Mrs. Ott likes oranges, and she has, I'm going to put an O up here for Ott, okay? She has 19 oranges. Do you remember how to write 19? Let's go ahead and write it right away so we know how many we're drawing and we don't forget, because that's a pretty big number. 19 is a 1 and a 9. So let's go ahead and draw those 19 counters to represent the 19 oranges that Mrs. Ott has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Almost 2 full 10 frames. Now, Mrs. Wood, I'm going to put a W down here for Wood. So we're going to talk about Mrs. Ott and Mrs. Wood. Mrs. Wood has a number of oranges, 2 less than Mrs. Ott. 2 less than Mrs. Ott. Well, if Mrs. Ott has 19 and Mrs. Wood has 2 less, that means we're going to have to take away 2. So if I were to take away 1, 2 of Mrs. Ott's oranges, how many does that mean Mrs. Wood has? Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. Mrs. Wood would have 17 oranges, a 1 and a 7. Let's go ahead and draw those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's important when you're drawing these, you draw these in a nice way so they're easy to count for you to see, so that it can go a little bit quicker too. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So O is for Ott. Mrs. Ott has 19 oranges. W is for Wood. Mrs. Wood has 17 oranges. I want to know which of these two numbers is less. That's another way of saying the smallest number. Which one is the smallest, or which one has less? It is 17. Remember that number line. The numbers farther to the right are going to be the greater numbers, and as you go to the left, they get smaller. So 17 is less than 19. Excellent job. We have one last page, and as I told you before, this is a review. This is a review to see what you've learned so far in the chapter before we move on. Number 1, I would like to see if you could count how many counters are in those two 10 frames. Do you need to touch and count each one? You could if you needed to, but we have been practicing this for so long. How many are here and how many are here? This is 2 sets of 10, so we could count by tens. 10, 20. And we would write the number 20, which is a 2 and a 0. There are other ways to count other than by tens, but counting by tens would be the quickest way for us. Here, we're going to count the counters and write the number. This top row is a row of 10. So I know there are 10, and I can count on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 10 and 8 more is 18. 18 is a 1 and an 8. Here again, I have 10 on the top row, so let's count on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is a 1 and a 7. Let's compare these two numbers. I would like to know which one is less. Which one is the smallest? If you said 17, you are correct. 17 is less than 18. It's only 1 less. Let's go ahead and count these. I see 10 and count on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 is a 1 and a 6. Count this one, a row of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do you remember how to write 15? It's a 1 and a 5. And last but not least, this is in counting order. Remember, counting order does not always need to start with 1. 15, 16, 17, 18, those are in the correct order. If I want to know what comes next, which one of these would I circle? What comes after 18? Is it 19 or is it 20? You're right. It is 19, so let's go ahead and circle that. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is in counting order. Very nice. Excellent job, boys and girls. It was a great day in math. You worked very hard. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow with math.